Well, we are a really religious country, and a lot of people are religious. And actually, church is like next to my house, and all the charity organizations are next to me, so I can see like what are they doing actually, and how is all that performed.
Well, we have our own separate branch of Orthodox Christian Church, so everyone is pretty religious. There's a lot of churches.
Those two things are completely different, like separate, and I think it doesn't like justice doesn't affect people's view of the world like differently.
So you don't think injustice makes people not to be religious?
No, I think that like parents, like your parents, choose kind of are you going to be religious or not. See how international people are kind of treated differently. Like I think that they have to work twice as hard as the American.
So I think that minorities are kind of not supported enough. I think that if you're a member of a minority, your rights could be in danger because police officers and law enforcement officers don't really do their job in the best way when it comes to the minorities. The way I see it, I think that there shouldn't be money in the world, and I think that everyone should do what they can and just live how they can and make it one big society where everyone does what they can and everyone prospers.
It's a nice idea, Mark.
Oh, there was one injustice in my like when I was in elementary school in last grade. Uh, my whole school actually stopped going to church because we saw that priests make so much money in our church, and had all of them had nice cars. That's I think that's kind of a reaction to like one like injustice.
Well, let's say that in Serbia, the entire government is unjust because they take the money from people and they use it for themselves and they don't care about the country. They just want to get rich. To stop any injustice in the world, well, you can't really. People just have to change their mentality.
I mean, I was raised like that, so basically, I didn't have much decision on it. In my family, I was always there, getting me into the Christian religion, Catholic. So basically, I didn't choose it. So, but yeah, I mean, there are more people that are more easygoing about religion here than in Ecuador, for example. In Ecuador, there are a lot of people that are very religious. They do more stuff like they visit. There's like a thing about visiting 7 churches, like in 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 Easter. Mm, I mean, in December, people always put like when when they when they have Jesus in when they have Jesus like when he was born, they put it like down the trees, the Christmas trees, and everybody in family do it. It's like basically a religious habit. It has been said that if good things or bad things in other religions, for example, they say a good thing. If you do good things are going to happen to you. I think Christianity almost had the same type of view. It's not like that, but it's kind of like if you do good things, then God will be there for you, and you will have more things. Like they will, I mean, not material things. It's more like the I don't know, love, everything, like emotions, everything will be more rich for you, and that's the way that they teach you that like you have to be good with people, don't do bad things. Yeah, because I mean, sometimes people say like, why this happens to me, or I have been doing everything right, and then suddenly something bad happens. And sometimes people just think like, oh, this is not gonna work. This is gonna be bad. I'm wasting my time. So yeah, they make them change their view of their religion, basically. like for example, robbing people, like that's very like that's one of the biggest injustice ever, and it's basically like sometimes you can see it in organizations, like for example when they ask for donations or stuff like that, and they actually get money from you, and they don't use it for what they were gonna do it for, like what they were saying they were gonna do it for. So that's one of the biggest injustices too. Like that's why people sometimes uh, still they some countries cannot actually get out of the hole that they are, and they simply just have people that are not in a good economic stability, and it's really bad. And I think that's one big injustice that I see every day, at least in my country. It depends. For example, like if I give somebody money, but then they don't use it for actually for food or for something that they can live with, then it's it's not a good use of that money that I'm giving to you. So I would say, yeah, it depends. Like all the time, it depends. And for example, these wealthy people sometimes they actually work hard for it. And I won't say like, oh, they're rich because they just got lucky. No, sometimes they work really hard and they get the money from it. Yeah, sometimes I think about it, like stuff that happens, and I think that it shouldn't be like that. But yeah, sometimes I think about that stuff. Well, mm, if you count like a robbery, for example, I got mugged once with my parents in a car. We couldn't do anything about it. The injustice, couldn't do anything. Actually, I was like 12 years old, 13 years old. I mean, people do what they have in their ability to do, and if they really, really need it, if it's a desperate thing, probably I would say they should do it fine, but it's gonna be in their conscience, and it's gonna be tough to get over it. And sometimes people can it's not gonna go well for you after because it's not a good thing that you're doing. So yeah, I mean it's your own decision if you wanna do it or not.
Home there is a lot of Christianity, but there is a lot of churches too. But a lot of people go to the church on Sunday, a lot of them. But we also have like kind of old religion that is like ceremony, like it's especially in the north with special um, clothing and special like ceremony with dances and
Rituals, not
rituals. I think that if you do something really bad in your life and you're going to the court, and if you're sent to jail, and you were not religious before that thing, and I can understand people who will turn religious inside of jail because it will be like the only thing that they can rely on, and they can use religion inside of jail as a way to clean themselves and be a better person outside of it. But yeah, I can see justice like affecting religion for sure.
okay. So it's a way of redemption. Then.
Yes. One example that I'm thinking of right now would be abortion, because if you're religious or not, I think it's the same problem. You should have the right to decide if you want to keep the child or no. But the thing is, I think that more religious, like a lot of religious person will think that it shouldn't be allowed because you are killing human being, and that it's not religiously right and everything. But if that was an accident and that kid will ruin your life, even if you're religious, I think you have the right to say no and not having the kid, because your future life is going to depend on that decision. For me, I think there is four group of people. There is the rich people that didn't work in their life, and they are rich. Those one had an easy life, I would say. They didn't work hard in their life, but they are rich. The second group will be those people that are rich, but they work all their life to reach that goal or that job that they wanted. Two other group of poor people. The one that it's not their fault. They had a good job, a family, and everything, but because of their country's life or the government or anything, they lost everything in one day. Those one, and they are still trying to fight during the day to not, maybe to not die. I don't know, depending on the country,
They are trying to survive.
to survive exactly.
Yeah.
And the other group of poor people that are doing nothing and just sit around and not fight or not trying to find solution. You need to group everyone. You need a group of people to change injustice in the world. By yourself, I don't think it's possible because there is too many of them, and sometimes it's out of your reach. For example, like one that is out of your reach is government. I witnesses the um, an injustice in my life when I was 13. I got robbed by someone with a knife, but he robbed me my money, my clothes, and my phone. Was too young, so I didn't do anything because I was scared, and it was my first time. But I would say that the justice behind this is my father, because the night I came back to the house and I told the story to my dad, and we went back with the car at the same place and we saw the same guys, and my dad just asked them to give back the everything that they stole. At the end, they did. That some countries in the world, you will you will go to the police and said, "Oh, they robbed me, help me," and maybe that the police is gonna rob you more. That's why injustice is everywhere in the world, and by yourself, I don't think you can change a lot. You need to have more people with you.
And even the biggest injustices are found in the people with the most power, the
Yeah,
most
yeah,
powerful people. So that's even worse.
yeah.